Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Cameron Abbott, the unsexiest comedian that you know, and the man whose face was built for radio. I'm here at Knotty Gamers, and we're about to just go over a little brief reaction and feelings about the Pre-E3 Bethesda conference. So, Bethesda, I felt knocked out of the park. They did everything they needed to do. As far as game releases, game announcements, everything that they were talking about, it looks like they have more continuation of more Fallout content, more. They have Dishonored 2 coming out. A lot of reactions coming out of the conference, however, have been a little bit like, it was mediocre, or it wasn't as great as it could have been, and a lot of people are putting the blame on that on either the Elder Scrolls Online emphasis or the Dishonored emphasis. Dishonored, of course, kind of upset that pacing that was set up at the beginning of the show at the very, tail end of the show. So we had good pacing, and then all of a sudden there was just a good chunk of Dishonored right there. Which, I mean, is fine for me. I'm really excited for Dishonored. I clearly had high hopes for it going into the conference, since I had it pretty heavily checkmarked on what I wanted to see from them. And I put my predictions where I wanted them to go, rather than where I could expect them to go. With Bethesda, like I said, I felt like they knocked it out of the park. I am extremely excited for Dishonored 2, so I'm probably in that camp that was really excited to see a whole lot of gameplay that we just haven't seen at all from Dishonored 2. And this is a game that, if they had announced earlier this year, oh yeah, it'll be out at the end of this year, everybody would have been like, well, where is it then? You haven't had it at anything. You've had the same one trailer for more than a year now. And we finally have it. They've been working hard. It looks like it just needs that last bit of polishing. A few things looked a little bit rough. The kill animations weren't as smooth as they probably should be. They made a lot of major announcements, though, outside of just that. Big emphasis on Elder Scrolls Online, as well as the Elder Scrolls card game that they're coming out, Elder Scrolls Legends. Looks like it's going to have a story emphasis on that, which is what people would be wanting with the Bethesda card game. A lot of people are excited for it at Mr. Bento Box, Ben over there, as well as at that little fly alley. They're all wanting, or not all wanting, but rather they're all very excited for a Bethesda licensed card game around their Elder Scrolls series, which has a lot of fantasy lore. So it's clear that there's a huge amount of effort being put behind that. I remember that they actually did like $1 million to a single player who played Elder Scrolls Online. Like, we want you to play our game. And for people to really put a lot of, their negative emphasis on Dishonored over here, when this is a game that they spent a whole lot of time talking about, that they actually gave a guy $1 million just for playing their game, to try to get more people to play it. I think they're doing a lot of smart things. They are breaking down the whole Tamriel alliance restrictions, level restrictions on what areas you can and cannot go to. A lot of smart MMO things. For people who are big into MMOs, that's a really important thing. When I was really into MMOs, that would have been something I would have been really excited by in an MMO that I cared about. So for Elder Scrolls Online people, this is really exciting. There was the most controversial thing coming out of that press conference. Definitely your opinion on the Elder Scrolls Online Woo Girl. On Twitter, people were really happy that she was showing that much excitement, that there was a fan base that excited that they came here for this part of the conference. On the other side, people just hated her. The haterade was made really quickly on that one. And it came out of nowhere for me. I was on Twitter during the event, and it was just nutso how many people just were like, mute her now. Versus other people just saying, this is fun. You have a really fun person who's there who's showing how much excitement they have over a product that a year ago, many people weren't even talking about. So, I don't know. Bethesda seemed to like her, though. There was a little bit of interaction there. But what I will say, however, towards the end of it, and let's just go ahead and head right over into our predictions and how we scored, Chandler put a whole lot of emphasis on, he kind of broke down his Fallout 4 predictions, what we were going to see there, into two categories. One was Nuka World, which is, we saw an announcement for Nuka World. It's coming out, I think, this October. So we will see about that. So we got Nuka World, so that's half a point for him. Then he said the time frame on the increasing the gigabyte allotment for mods on consoles. I was like, wow, that's really cutting deep there, but he was really convinced that they would spend that time talking more about mods than I think they did. So he got half a point for that. And then there he said, predictably enough, or sorry, not predictably, we've already spoken a little bit about it, but the Elder Scrolls Online info and even a possible trailer, which we got both. So update infos, new upgrades, new things they're doing with the world of Tamriel and the Elder Scrolls Online, as well as, a trailer for it. So he's going to get a full point on that, which gives him a total of 1.5 on that for the Bethesda conference. Moving over to me, I kind of came out of the gate saying we were either going to get Doom DLC or Quake, and when my feet had to be put to the coals, I was like, I think they're going to really come out with a new Quake. So Quake Champions was announced at the top of the show. Huge reaction all over Twitter. Be still, Jared Petty's beating heart. We're getting a new Quake game. What that Quake game is it the same kind of thing we saw from the Doom reboot? I don't know. They are calling it Quake Champions. So we'll just have to wait and see. After that, we had the Dishonored 2 announcements. We had the release date, which I was predicted they would announce, which they did. It's November 11th, 2016. Then you had a gameplay trailer, which we got, as well as possible story information, which we got in the form of information given by the presenter, as well as information given through a trailer. So that was knocking it out of the park there for me, so I got a full 2 points on that. Of course, we have, here over at Knotty Gamers, we have the 2 predictions per conference, so that we don't either limit ourselves too much, but also don't muddle it up with too many predictions that would count towards this little game that Chandler and I are playing. Which puts the day one final score, Chandler with 2.5 and myself with 3.25. So that's it for day one. We, of course, have our predictions that we put in for the Xbox conference and Microsoft conference tomorrow, as well as the Ubisoft conference tomorrow. We have those predictions all up in our predictions video. You can check that out by just going to knottygamers.com/podcasts. We have our audio version there, as well as a live stream video recording that we did back on Thursday, where we put out our predictions. It's either way, you're going to have 3 hours worth of content from us. Good stuff. Just if you don't want to listen to 3 hours or watch 3 hour video, you can go ahead and just keep it tuned to knottygamers.com over on our YouTube page, where I'm going to be putting out videos like this for the rest of the week about kind of our impressions that we're getting from this. Not the rest of the week, sorry. Tomorrow as well, I'll probably have a compiled video just from the end of the day. So overall, we're looking at an exciting E3. Definitely more exciting than the EA conference that we had this morning, which felt slightly out of touch and definitely off tone. Talking about Madden in London, which didn't make a lot of sense. But then they talked about FIFA in London, and that was, of course, a huge selling point for them. But we'll have to wait and see what Sony, Microsoft, and Ubisoft bring us tomorrow. I can tell you that we're excited here over at Knotty Gamers, and we only ask that you do one thing. Stay complicated.